This conference will now be recorded.
Hope everyone is clear with declaration of variables, how to use the variables. So the purpose of the variables, right? So to store some data and to perform our operations, generally we use the variables, right? So variables variables are used to hold only single item. Say for example, if I declare a equals to 10, how many items it can store? Only one item. That item is 10. Say for example, s equals to SLC. I declared one more variable like this. So how many elements it can store? Only one element, SLC, and its type is string, right? We have a concept called collections in Python. Collections. Collections are used to store multiple items as a single object. As a single object, you can declare one variable. You can hold multiple items. You can store multiple items into it. There are different types of collections we have. Lists we have, tuples we have, sets we have, dictionaries we have. Okay, like that we have different types of collections available. As part of collections, let us discuss lists first. Okay, what is a list? What is a list? Any idea? It is a collection of items. Okay, it is a collection of items, or you can say it is a group of items. Items, I'm saying items are nothing but elements, different values, different data. Okay, one more point we need to remember is of different type. So list is a collection of items of different type. So you can store different types of items into one single list. Okay, how to declare a list? How to declare a list? Say for example, a equals to square brackets. If I declare like this, if I write one statement in Python, this is a list. This is a list with no values actually. It is an empty list, I can say. It is empty list. Uh, List is growable in nature. So meaning once even if you declare an empty list, you can start adding elements to it. Even if you declare an empty list, you can start adding elements to the list. So that nature is also known as mutability. Okay, lists are mutable. You have to remember this word also, mutable. Someone may ask, like, what is the difference between mutable and immutable? Mutable means once you declare an object, you can make some changes to it. That means you can add some elements to it, you can update elements, you can delete, like that. Okay, you can perform some CRUD operations against it. If you can perform that kind of operations, that is known as mutable. There are some collections like tuples, they are immutable. Once you declare with the data, you cannot edit it. Frozen set is there, like that. We'll see examples one by one. Okay, hope the definition is clear to everyone. List is a collection or group of elements of different data type. You can have integer data type, floating data type, string data type, boolean data type, like that. Any type of data you can store as a collection. Okay, how to declare a list? A equals to, for example, square brackets. If I provide like that, I can declare a empty list. Let me declare one list along with the data. So I just open my IDLE here. So LST equals to say some values. I'll say like hello, maybe 20.9, some true. Okay, enter. So if you see LST equals to 1, hello, 20.9, true, there are some collection of items. There are some group of items enclosed between square brackets. Okay, LST is the variable name. LST is my object name. And this is the collection of items. If you see here, one is of type integer data type, hello is of type string, 20.9 is of type float, true is of type boolean. So I can store different types of data as a collection into one list. Okay, let me type type of list. Let me print it. So type is a function we use to find out the data type of a object or a variable. If you want to know what type of data it is storing, what type of data, what kind of data type it is for a variable or for a collection or for an object, what we have to use, type is the function available in the Python. You can say type of and object name that will give what type of what data type it is. So it is of list data type. So it is showing class list. Okay, if you remember string data type and its slicing operations, so list is very easy for you. The same way how you access string data types, in the same way we read the data from the list. Generally, when we are discussing about any database related things, data access related things, or data collection related things, what we need to learn, generally CRUD operations: create, read, update, and delete. Okay, these are the operations we need to learn how we can do that. How to read data from a object, or how to read data in different ways. What are the different ways to read the data from the object, that we need to learn. How to update the data, how to add new data, how to delete a specific data. These are the things we need to learn. Okay, let us see one by one. First, let us begin with the read operations. So what are the different types of read operations we can perform against a list? We'll see one by one first. Then we'll go to the next options. Okay, I want to read all the elements, I want to see all the elements of the list. So simply I can say list name, I can refer list name, whatever the list name I have declared, that name if I am using, I can get all the elements of the list. So I typed here lst and I said enter. See, I can see the list with all the values, all the 4 items. Okay, clear. List items will be stored inside the list in indexed basis. Okay, so its index starts from 0 and its index ends with n minus 1, the length minus 1. If you see the length of the list here, the length of the list is 4. How can I say? There are 4 items available in the list, so length is 4. So index starts from 0 and index ends with length minus 1, 4 minus 1, that is 3. Index start from 0 and ends with 3. Okay, like you can understand this way. Index of the first element in the list is 0. The second element's index is 1. Third element's index is 2. The final element index is 3. That way we can access each element in the list. Let me print out one by one. First, I want to see the length of the list. So in order to get the length of the list, we have a function called len. Not only for list, you can use len function, len function, for all the collections. When you want to identify how many items are available in a specific collection, the function you have to use is length, len. Okay, len of, if you provide the object, it will identify the number of elements and it will print. Okay, I got a number of items are 4. That 4 items are available in the list, that I came to know. Now I told you that we can access using the index. So let us see what are the different values with the different indexes. How can I access? List of 0. We have to use again square brackets. LST is my list name and I'm using the square brackets, and in between the square brackets I am providing 0 as my index. If I say enter, I can see the value 1. The same way, list of 2, sorry, list of 1, list of 2, list of 3. Okay, I got all the values. For example, if I say list of 4, what happens? I got an error. List index out of range. What is the range of indexes available in this list? 0 to 3. Only 0 to 3, the range between 0 to 3 only we can use as part of accessing the elements on index based. Okay, if beyond that, if I'm trying to access, it will give exception. Okay, also indexes are of integer type. You cannot use floating values. See here, list of 1.0 I provided here. I tried to access a list of 1.0, but it is giving me exception. List indices must be integers or slices, not the float. Slices we will be discussing in a moment. Integers we know, right? Integer means a whole number. So we have to use only integer number as index. We have to use between the range available. So if 5 elements are there, 0 to 4 is the range. If 6 elements are there, 0 to 5 is the range. If you remember range function, what it will give? Range of 5, for example, if I say range of 5, what it will give? So it will contain 0 to 4. It will contain the elements from 0 to 4. So for example, for I in range of 5, I'm just printing it, print I. Okay, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the range. If range of 5, if I'm trying to see what are the values I have, 0 to 4. In the same way here, the length is 4, the range would be 0 to 3. I have to access the indexes from 0 to 3 only. So any questions on this part to anyone? So we just read the data using different indexes. Creating a list we have seen, and how to access list using the indexes. Two things we have seen. Anybody has any questions on this part? Yes, please confirm, please respond. If no questions, please say it's clear or something. Please respond something in the chat window so that I can understand and I can proceed. Okay, good. So while reading the data from list, we have seen indexes. Next part we need to understand is slicing. Slicing means pieces. So if you remember the slicing operations in string, the same way how you have used the slicing operations, it works in lists and tuples also. Okay, in lists and tuples also, it works in the same way. How many of you remember the slicing operations in strings? Don't worry, if you don't remember also, I'll explain now, but I just want to know how many of you remember slicing operations in strings? No one? Alekia, good. Only one person. Okay. Okay, good. Few people remember uh, the slicing operation, so our life would be easy. Okay, let us go with examples. Okay, generally when you're writing slicing operations, three things we need to understand: start, end, jump. These are the three values we have to provide. Slicing means cutting into pieces. Consider list as one single unit. You have to you want to take one slice from it. Okay, you want to pick only subset of it. You want to pick only some set of values only. In that situations, we use the slicing operations. So how to use the slicing operation? You have to say again, I want to operate on my list only. My list name is LST. So LST of, I provided here start and jump. Three values I need to provide. So from where to where you want to pick the data, that will be decided based on the start and end. Okay, start means from index, end means the end index. Okay, jump means we can skip some values. Okay, we'll see with an example. Okay, so start, end, jump, three arguments we have to pass. But the point here is all are optional only. All are optional only. Even if you don't provide also, it will work for you. It won't give you any exception or any error. But the data it will show, what data it will show, we need to understand. Okay, let us see one by one. So in my list, I have 4 items. Okay, let me add a big list so that I can we can try different examples. I'll take one more list. LST1 equals to, I'll take maybe some values like this: 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, also 7. Okay, some 8 values I'm taking here. Okay, LST1 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm taking some string values. Of course, I want to match them with my indexes also to just make sure my example is clear to me. Okay, so how many elements are there? Len of list 1 will give me the number of elements available. 8 elements are there. Okay, now I'll say LST1 of, okay, 1 colon 4, for example. If I say list of 1 colon 4, what it will give? It will give subset of LST1. It will give a slice of list 1. What are the values that will be included? The values included are with index 1, index 2, index 3 will be considered. Index 1, 2, 3. Okay, starting index is inclusive, ending index is exclusive. That means if you say 1 as your starting index, the the beginning index 1 will be considered. Here we said 4. 4 will not be considered. Up to 3 only it will consider. Okay, let me say enter. See here, 1, 2, 3. 3 elements returned from this slicing operation. Guys, 1 second. Sorry guys, small interruption. So is this clear how it is working? So let me try one more example. List 1 of 0 colon 4, for example. 0 colon 4. So 0 onwards the indexes will be considered, up to 3 will be considered. So what are the maximum value, the end value you are giving? So that value minus 1 up to the value minus 1 will be considered. So the start value will be inclusive, so that value will also be included. Okay, there are some combinations we can try here. Say for example, list 1 of 0 colon, and I did not provide any let me say like this, maybe 2 to 2 to 6. If I say 2 to 6, what are the values it will consider? Index 2, index 3, index 4, index 5. Okay, 6 will be excluded. Okay, up to 6 will be considered. Say for example, LST1 of 2 colon, I mentioned like this. I did not provide any ending index. So if you don't provide any ending index, it will consider the elements up to end. That means starting index will be considered, ending index will be considered as a maximum value available in the list. Okay, the reverse is also possible. LST1 of I don't provide any starting index, I'll say for example 5 as my ending index. When I don't provide any starting index, it will consider from the 0. Okay, if I don't provide any starting index, it will consider from the 0. If I don't provide any ending index, it will consider up to the end of the list. All the elements will be considered. If I don't provide both starting index and ending index, what happens? It will consider from 0 to end. All the elements will be printed. Okay, is this clear? So how we are doing slicing? Any questions on this part? Any cases? What if I provide indexes that are not available? 9 is not available. What happened here? It's not giving me any error. Even if the index is not available, the max index is not available, it will consider up to the values available only. Okay, so slicing is clear to everyone? Clear or any questions? Feel free guys, don't hesitate. If you don't understand, even if it is a small question also, don't feel hesitated. You can ask me, I can repeat the part. Can we only jump like, yeah, jump we will see now, Ganesh, give me a moment. Yeah, jump we will talk now. Okay, next. So we learned about a starting index and ending index. Okay, now let us talk about the jump part. What is the jump part? If I say list one of 0 colon say 8 7 means 8 colon 2. Okay, if I say 2 means it will consider every other element. Okay, every other element, like in this scenario, first the starting and ending index part will be evaluated 0 to 8. So when I say 0 to 8, what are the elements that will be included? These are all the elements that will be included, right? Next, I said jump index as 2. So what happens here is 0 will be considered, 1 will be excluded, 1 will not be considered, it will jump to next element. 2 will be considered, 3 will be ignored, 4 will be considered, 5 will be ignored, 6 will be considered, 7 will be ignored, and there is no item. So we will get output like this: 0, 2, 4, 6. This is the output for this one. Why? We have mentioned the jump index as 2. Okay, what happens if I say jump index as 1? 0 colon 8 colon 1. Okay, if I say jump index as 1, I got all the elements. Okay, if I say 0 colon 8 and I don't provide any jump index, so still I'm getting all the elements. What does it mean? If you don't specify any jump index, that means a jump index is automatically considered as 1. Okay, 1 means every element will be included. Okay, 2 means every other element will be included from the first element, based on the index you are providing here, starting index and ending index. The set of elements will be considered in that output, in that subset of elements. If you provide jump statement as 2, so every other element will be considered: 0, 2, 4 and 6. That way it will work. Let me write one more example to make sure you understand properly. List of 0 colon 8 colon 3, for example. I'll say jump index as 3. What happens now? It jumps 3 elements. That means 2 elements will be ignored. So 0 is considered, next 2 elements will be ignored. Up to this, it's a 3 elements set. Okay, first element is considered, 0 will be considered, 3 will be considered, and 6 will be considered. The remaining elements will be ignored. That way jump statement will work. As I said, jump start index and ending index are optional. So even if you don't provide starting index and ending index also, it will work. If I say list one of colon colon 3, that means I did not provide the starting index. When you don't provide a starting index, 0 will be considered. When I don't provide a ending index, up to the length, all the elements will be considered. I mentioned 3 as the jump index. So every two elements will be excluded and the other elements will be considered. This is how jump statement will work. Jump index will work. Okay, I'll say colon colon minus 1, for example. What happens? You might have seen this example in strings also. So when you consider the list and colon colon provide, I have provided, that means I did not provide any starting and ending index. I mentioned the jump index as -1. So when you say -1, what happens? It reverses all the elements. Okay, it reverses all the elements. So far we discussed about positive indexing only. Positive indexing means so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. In Python we have negative indexing concept also available. Negative indexing means the last element in the list. Here if you consider the elements, what are my elements? LST1 equals to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are the elements. So the last element will have the index -1. Okay, last but one will have -2. Next one -3, -4. Like that, negative indexing is also available in Python. So let us try to access with negative index. LST1 of -1, for example. -1 means the last element will be considered. LST1 of -2, last but one element 6 is considered here. Okay, so up to the length, we have 8 elements here. Till 8 I can access, -8. Okay, if I say LST1 of -9, -9 is not available, the list index out of range. So -1 to -8 I can access the elements in the reverse order also, I mean using the reverse indexing also. Okay, and you can apply the slicing operations not only for forward indexing, you can apply the same thing for negative indexing also. That is also possible. Okay, say for example LST1 of minus 3 colon -6, for example. Let us see what happens. Sorry, uh, I have to provide reverse way. -6 colon -3. See what are the values I got? 2, 3, 4. Okay, indexes will be considered like this: -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6. -6 is the index for 2. Okay, next -5, -4. Okay, 3 elements are considered here. Again, here also the right hand side one is exclusive, so that particular index will be excluded. Before that, up to before that element will be considered. You can apply the jump statements also here. Okay, -6, maybe -6, -1, -8, -8 colon -1 colon 2, for example. Okay, 0, 2, 4, 6, like that I got. Okay, when you want to consider the alternative elements, maybe you have a list of elements, list of numbers, for example. So you want to print only odd numbers, you want to print only even numbers. In that situations also you can use this kind of operations. Okay, we cannot provide I don't think we can provide negative jump statements. Let us see once. Let's confirm. -2. It's not giving any data. Okay, only -1 will work. That will help us to reverse the elements. Jump statement -1 will help us to reverse the elements, but that too when you are using in positive indexes only it is working. Okay, not with the negative indexing. Okay, okay, 1 second. List of maybe 1 comma 7 comma -1. Okay, got it. List 1 of -1 index is working only for empty starting and empty ending index. Then only, like when you want to do a complete reverse of entire collection, then only you have to use the -1. In other cases, -1 is not working. Okay. Negative indexing and jump statements. Any questions you have? Is it clear? Is it clear to everyone? Or any questions you have? Guys, please respond, guys. You have to respond, then only I can understand. Let us see how to update the data. Till now, what we have seen, how to read the data. Meghanila. Yes, that is possible. Let me try. List 1 colon -8 -8 colon nothing. Okay. -8 would be the starting index, and if I don't provide ending index, it will consider all the elements. Okay. You can give it a try, like you just open your IDLE, add some elements, create one list, and try different combinations. So you can see the behavior and you can understand. They are very much straightforward. So anyhow, I'll try to save this file and share it with you so that you can refer the outputs. Okay. So reading is clear. Okay, let us try to change the elements now. Let us try to update. Update list 1. I have, these are the elements I have. Okay, so here instead of 3 THRE3, I want to have number 3. Can I edit it? How can I edit it? Simple. Okay, LST1 of 0 1 2 3, 3 is the index, equals to 3. See guys, I'm saying LST1 of 3 equals to 3. It is same like how you change the values of a variable. Okay, so each element you can consider as a variable and you can make your modifications. So say enter LST1. See here what happened. The string 3 is changed to number 3. String 3 is converted into number 3. So this is how you can edit one single element. For example, I want to edit multiple elements at a time. So maybe 1 and 2, these two values I want to change. I want to change these two values with new values. How can I change that? How can I access these two values? First of all, how can I access? Using slice operation. List 1 equals to 1 colon 0 1 2 3. Okay, 3 if I give 1 and 2, right? List 1 of 1 colon 3 equals to, if I say 1 comma 2, for example, see what I did here. I considered a slice of list 1. 2 elements slice I have considered here. Here I am passing two values, 1 comma 2. I'm passing two values here. So what happens here? List 1. If I print 1 2 3, see here 1 and 2 are changed here. Okay, what if I provide more values? Here I'll take only slice of two elements. I'll provide more elements. What happens? Let us see. List 1 1 colon 3. Okay, list of 1 comma 2 comma 3. See here, I have taken only list slice of two elements, and here I'm considering assigning three values. What happens now? Any guess? Any guess what may happen? Will it work? What happened here? No error. All the three elements will be added starting from the index 1. Even if you provide extra elements also, those values will be replaced. What if I provide less elements? List 1 1:4 equals to we'll write just to have a difference 1 TWO2. See here LST1 of 1:4. That means I'm considering 3 elements here. 1:4 means 3 elements. I'm passing 2 values here. Okay. So if I say list 1, I got only 2 values replaced here. Okay. So it takes the slice based on the values you are providing. It will adjust. If you are providing only less elements, so the less elements will be replaced. If you are providing more elements will be, the possible elements will be replaced, the extra elements will be added in that specific index. Okay, that is how it is doing. Clear? Okay, I got a list here. We have 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Okay, we got a list here. I want to add new elements to the list. How can I add? It's very simple. List1 dot add is the method we have. Add is the method we have. New item, for example. Sorry, append. I have to say append, not add. Append. That's it. If I say list1 dot append, it will add a new item to the list. You can see the item here. New item. Okay. List1 dot append. We got one more option, one more method called extend, using which you can add multiple elements. Okay, here list1 dot append, using list1 dot append, you can add only one item. When you want to add multiple items, you have to provide as a list. Okay, let me say lst1 dot extend, and I have to provide the list of elements here. Here I have to provide the list of elements here. Maybe I'll say Jan, I'll say Feb. Okay, again remember, while appending or extending, you don't have to pass only string values. You can pass any type of data. The reason is list is a mutable object. You can change the data. Okay, it can change the data. So if I say like this, so list 1, if I say, see here Jan and Feb are added here. Okay, if you want to add only one item to the list, you have to use append method. If you want to add multiple items to the list, you have to use the extend method. Extend method you have to use, and you have to provide multiple items as a collection here. You can declare a collection, a separate collection, and that collection also you can provide here as a argument. Okay, so okay, when I am assigning some value here, appending some value or extending value, if you see, those elements are getting added at the end of the list. Okay, the items are getting added at the end of the list. If I want to add at a specific index, for example, I want to add THREA3 as an element, and I want to add that here. Okay, 0 1 2 3, and at the number 3 I want to insert a value 3. Okay, no, actually here I want to insert one more value, not replacing. If you want to replace, you have to use list of 3 equals to new value. I want to insert some new element at a specific index. Generally, when I'm saying append or extend, it is adding the elements at the end of the list. I want to add new element at a specific index where I want to index, for example, at the 3, I want to add THREE 3. So how can I do that? List one dot, we have a method called insert. Insert method is there, 3, for example. I'm sorry. List one dot insert method. I have to provide 2 parameters here. By mistake, I pressed enter. Save here list one dot insert, and I open the parenthesis. Intelligence is helping me here. 2 objects I need to provide here, index and object. Okay, index means where you want to insert it. Object means what element you want to add here. Say 3 comma THREE 3. Number 3 is the index where I want to add the element. THREE 3 is the element what I want to add. So now if I say enter, that will be added. See here. So element 3 is included at the index 3. And the remaining elements are all moved to the next indexes. They are not disturbed. They all move to the next indexes. All the elements are moved to the next indexes. Okay, so adding, I think adding is clear, and adding using insert is also clear. Okay, if I want to delete one element, say for example, all are having string only, but this number 3 is having integer data, and THRE 3 is also available here. I want to remove it. Okay, by mistake or due to some program I have added this, but I want to remove it. How can I remove that? There are uh, options like say for example, for deleting an element, I have to use a keyword called del, delete. Okay, what I want to delete? I want to delete list 1 of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4. This elements index I have to provide here. List 1 of index 4. List 1 of index 4 means 3 will be considered. Upon it, what operation I am trying to provide? I am specifying an operation delete, del. So when I say, it will delete the element. See here. In between 3 and 4, the number 3 is removed here. Okay. If I want to delete multiple elements, I can delete list 1 of maybe 2 colon 5. If I mention like this, it will consider this slice index 2 to 4. It will consider, that means these 2 elements will be these 3 elements will be considered, and those 3 elements will be deleted. Multiple elements will be deleted. So del, you can say one specific index. Del, you can specify multiple elements also using the slicing operation. So it will delete that multiple elements. See here. If you see 2, 3, 4 are missing here. 0, 1, 5, 6, 7, new item, blah, blah, blah. They are there. 2, 3, 4 are missing here. So you can delete using slicing operation also. So you can delete multiple elements here. What if I say del lst1? What happens? I don't provide any index. I don't provide any slicing. What happens now? Will it give error, or will it delete all the elements, or will it delete list one object itself? What it will delete? It will delete all the elements of the list. No, I mean entire list. It will delete entire list. See here, when I say lst1, it is saying there is no element. Name lst1 is not defined. No, it's not deleting all the elements. It is deleting the list itself. The entire list it is deleting. There is a difference. Deleting all elements means the list will be there, the empty list will be there, the elements will not be there. The elements only will be deleted. But when you say del and list name, the entire list will be deleted. Say for example, I'll say list 1 equals to, for example, I'll take couple of numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. If I say del lst 1 Slicing operator I'm providing without providing starting and ending index. Del list one of slicing operation I'm providing ending and without ending and beginning operation, right? If I said like this, it will remove the elements. See here, I said delete some elements. What are those some elements? But mention all the elements here. So when I say lst1, I got the empty square brackets. That means all the elements are removed. List is available here. Okay, but when I say del and list name, it removes the entire list. I can't access the list. So that is the difference between deleting all the elements and deleting only deleting the entire list and deleting elements. Say for example, I'll take one more example. List is there, list one dot clear. We have one method called list dot clear. If you say list dot clear, what happens? The list will be available, but the all the elements will be cleared. All the elements will be removed. That also you can use. Okay. Inserting and deleting. Any questions from anyone? There are few more methods. I'll quickly talk about them and we can close the list. If we are good with list, tuple is similar. I'll tell you the differences. So tuple we don't have to spend much time. Tomorrow we'll cover tuple. Okay. Any questions so far? So that I'll take 10 more minutes and we'll finish the list part. Bhavana, I think Radhakrishnan and Bhavana, I think I have answered your question. Are we good or confusing? Are you following? Everyone got it? Guys, please respond, guys. Please be interactive. We all are educated, guys. Okay, we should be interactive. So if we are interactive, I can understand the things whether you are following or not. Don't hesitate. Don't feel bad. Even if you have a silly question, also feel free to ask me. I can repeat without any hesitation. Okay, shall we move forward? While deleting elements, we have one more option, like del we have seen, clear we have seen, we have one more option. So I'm declaring one list here. Difference between append and extend. Good question, Monica. Give me 2 minutes. Okay, we'll discuss. Okay, as I started this one, let me finish this. We'll discuss. Okay, so we have one more option. Del we have seen, clear we have seen. We have one more option called pop. Okay, so we can use a pop also to remove elements. The small difference is while removing, if you want to use the removed element for some different operation, okay, so you want to remove one element and that element you want to print, for example, or you want to do some operation, you want to add that to some other collection, you want to multiply with something, some action you want to perform with the removed element. In that scenarios, we use the pop. Okay, till now when you say del, it is deleting the element only, but we don't know which element it is deleting. We can't store. But with the pop, we can store that element. Say for example, list one dot pop. Okay, I have declared list one equals to 1 2 3 4 5. 5 elements are there in the list one. If I say t equals to list one dot pop, what happens here? So it will delete one element and that element will be assigned to variable t. What is the advantage? If I want to perform any operation using that, I can perform the operation. See here, element 5 is deleted and that is assigned to variable t. Okay, that element is not available in the list 1. I can write another way also, like t equals to list 1 dot pop of 2, for example. I'll say again t lst1. What's the difference here? If I don't provide any index for the pop function, what happens? The last element will be removed. If I don't mention any index, the last element will be removed. If I provide an index, index 2 I provided, what is the value at index 2? 3 is the element. That the 3 will be removed. So you can use a pop for using an index, or you can use it without using the index also. If you use index, index will be considered, otherwise the last element will be considered. Okay, so this is about pop. Someone may ask you, someone may trick you. Okay, what is the difference between pop and pop, delete, clear? Okay, these three things we need to have idea. Okay, clear will remove all the elements from the list. Del will delete only a specific element or specific set of elements, slice of elements. Pop will help us to remove the element, and that value will be returned. That removed element will be returned. We can assign to a variable and we can use it for further actions. Okay, that is about pop. So let me cover a few more. Some methods are available, some functionalities are available for us. Let me cover that. At the end, I will answer Monika's question. Okay, append and extend. Okay, what is the next one I want to cover is say some len. We have seen len of list 1. We have seen this. Len will give the length of the elements that we know. Max, we have max method. These methods will work in specific scenarios only. You should have the heterogeneous data, same type of data, then only these operations will work. When you have proper data, so then you can take the advantage of using these methods. Okay, max means it will give the biggest number available in the list. Okay, min of list 1, the smallest value will be considered. Sum of list 1, sum one method we have, like it will calculate the total of all the elements. Okay, we have one method called sorted list. What it will do, it will delete the it will sort the elements in ascending order. We have one more option called dot sort also. Okay, it will also sort okay, I'm talking about sorting, right? There are two options to sort the list. Okay, just remember here we have the sorted data only, but we are not seeing any difference. But if you say sorted of list, it will sort the elements and it will give in a sorted order. Okay, if you say list 1 dot sort also, it will give the data in a sorted order. But what is the difference between these two? There is a small difference. When you say dot sort, what happens is it will rearrange the elements in the list 1. It will rearrange the elements in the list 1 and it will sort. Okay, but when you say sorted, what happens is it will not rearrange the actual elements. It will simply return the sorted data. Okay, let me show you one example to talk about sorted and sort. Okay, I'll take one list. List 1 equals to, okay, 3 5 1 2. Okay, this is my list. List 1 equals to 3 5 1 2. Okay, I'll call sorted of list 1. What happened? Sorted of list 1, when I said what is the output I got? Output I got is 1 2 3 4. Okay, now if I say list 1, for example, list 1, it is showing me only the actual values. It is showing me the actual values only. That means it did not rearrange the elements in the list 1. It has just given us the sorted output only. Okay, that way you have to remember. Say for example, list 1 dot sort. List 1 dot sort. Here what happens? It will rearrange the elements of the list. LST 1, if I say, see 1 2 3 4 5, the actual elements will be rearranged. Okay, same way we have a method called reverse. So it will rearrange the data into reverse order, and we have reversed also. Reversed. So of course it gives in a object format. We have to deal this in a different way. Okay, we'll see that. Okay, sorting and sorted, is that clear to everyone? Sum we have seen, max we have seen, min we have seen, sort we have seen, reversing we have seen. Okay. Also we have some operators like membership operators. We can check whether an element is available in the collection or not. Say 3 in list 1, if I say like this, it will give true. Okay, so 3 is available in the list, so it will give true. If I say 7 in list 1, it will give false. This way also you can check some elements existence. Okay, coming to the questions, difference between append and extend. Append means we can add only one element. One element will be added. Extend means we can add multiple elements. Okay, if you know the inheritance concept, it is like a extending concept of inheritance only. I mean, OOPS concepts, if you remember, inheritance or extensor, both are same. Say for example, list 1 equals to 1, 2, 3. Okay, list 2 equals to 4, 5. I want to extend this 4 and 5 elements into L1. I want to extend the L1 list by adding more elements. Okay, so L1 dot extend of L2. Okay, if I say like that, the new elements will be added here. Okay, coming to append, L1 dot append, if I say, I can add only one element to the existing list. Append is used to add one element, extend is used to add multiple elements. When you are adding multiple elements, you have to provide a list of elements here. Like you can say, you can consider one list and you can provide the list, or you can provide the values between square brackets. That is also possible. Okay, is that clear, Monica? Ganesh, what is the difference between sorted and sort? Okay, let me take a notepad. Okay, assume that I declared 4, 2, 6. One list I have declared. Okay, in the memory, one list will be created like this. In the memory also, it will create one list like this. Okay, somewhere in my program, I said, okay, maybe B equals to sorted of A. Okay, B equals to sorted of A, I have mentioned. So what happens here? It is a function, it is a method. What is the input for this one? The list is the input. It will perform some operation. It will take some temporary list, whatever it will do, let it do. Okay, it will give an output like 2, 4, 6. It will give an output like P equals to 2, 4, 6. That means the sorted elements will be given as a output from the sorted method. Sorted method will give the output. Okay, you don't want to change the actual list, but you want to get the sorted data. You don't want to change the actual list, but you want to get the sorted data. Then you will use the sorted A. When you are using sorted of list, you will get the sorted data, but the actual data will not be changed. The actual data will not be changed. That you have to remember. Okay, say for example, somewhere I mentioned B equals to A dot sort, or only A dot sort, anything is fine. What happens here is when you say A dot sort, it will go to the actual memory location. It will go to the actual memory location. It will rearrange the data. Okay. In future, after writing few statements, if you are using A, list A, what is the value referred? Not the 4 to 6. It refers the 2, 4, 6. It will rearrange the data in the actual memory location. That is the difference between sort and sorted. How to find max in strings? Okay, that is what I said. Okay, when you are having proper data only, these methods will work. Like L1 equals to 1, 2, 3. L1, max of L1. So it's giving 2. How it is considering? Uh, based on alphabetical order only it is considering. M N O P Q R S T. Okay, T and T are same. So W will be the highest. So I think that way it is considering. So general English, how we are considering biggest word and smallest word based on the alphabetical order, right? Based on the count, that way only it is considering. So how to find the max? Okay, T equals to list1 dot pop2. Why it is deleting the end value 2? No, it won't delete the end value when you are providing the index. When you are providing index for the pop, Krishna is asking one question. List1 dot pop of 2, if I mention like that, is it deleting the end value also? No, it will not delete. Let me take one list. Okay, uh, 1 2 3, this is my list. For example, say T equals to L1 dot pop of, for example, 0 I will mention. Enter. L1, enter. See here, 2 and 3 are there. Okay, in the previous example, when we were discussing the pop, first I called list1 dot pop. That's why that deleted the last element. In the next statement, I mentioned a pop of 2. So both the elements are deleted. Last element and second indexed element are deleted. By using append and index extend, can we insert the elements at a particular index? No. We have to use insert method only. For that, you have to use insert method. Append and extend will add the elements at the end only. Okay. If you want to add elements at a specific location, specific index, you have to use the insert method. I think I answered, Monica. And guys, remember when I'm saying list is a collection of elements of different types of data. When I said a different type, list is also one type of data. Okay, that means you can have list like this also. List equals to 1 comma 2 comma 3, and here another list 4 comma 5, and for example 6. This way also you can have the lists. This is known as a nested list. List is having a list as an element is known as nested list. Okay, how to access this one? The way you access the elements inside the list, in the same way you have to access it. Okay, L1 of 4, if I mention 0 1 2 3, okay, 3 if I mention, I'll get this list 4 comma 5. When I said L1 of 3, it is again a list. It is again a list. Inside that also you can access the elements like 3. Okay, L1 of 3, this is considered as one list. On top of it, you can provide one more index also like this, L1 of 3 and 1 5. Okay, nested list. If you want to access, first identify that element with index, then another index you have to provide to access the inside element also. Okay, that is also there. When I said it's a collection of elements of different type, the type might be anything. That might be list, that might be tuple, set, normal numbers, integers, float, anything. Okay, keep that in mind. Any valid data type supported by the Python. Okay, that is about list. I think I covered most of the things about the list. Okay, we'll see a couple of examples tomorrow also, and we'll go for tuples. We'll do a quick recap on if we miss something, and we can cover the tuples tomorrow. So what about L4? L4, L1, 4, that will give the next element. L1 of 4, 6. 6 is the next element, right? So that will give the next element. Good. Good, guys. You are asking questions means you are understanding something, and I can understand that you are following. Any questions on any topic discussed so far? Let me save it.